Hello, welcome to A Tinge Ginge. Now today it's going to be a little bit of a different video. It's going to be something that it's basically explaining what the channel was supposed to be. So if you followed me from the very beginning, if you saw my first video, then you would have known that in that video I sort of mentioned this is going to be like it's not really a vlog style channel. It's more just to show off the things that I enjoy. It's basically all the stuff that I get up to in my life, hobby wise, interests, things like that. And because of everything that's going on in the world at the minute, it all just sort of got put on hold. There were certain things I couldn't go out and do, certain restrictions on things I couldn't go and get, and yeah, it just sort of put everything on for this channel on hold. Luckily, I'm into my snakes, because that's probably why the majority of you watch my videos, is because of the snake collection I have. And yeah, there's so much to do with the snakes. There's so many videos that I've got that I need to try and film, and it's just finding the time to do it really. But I'm slowly getting there, I'm slowly cranking it out, and a lot of the videos I wanted to make for the snake stuff had been put on hold because I'm waiting for my snake room to get finished. So this video probably sounds a little bit echoey, it's a little bit noisy because of what I've got going on over there. But yeah, this is going to be my new space. It's not a huge space, not one of these massive 100 square metre, I don't know, places that people are doing at the minute. For me, my collection's never going to be big. I never want my collection to be big. I'm not one of these people that just wants to breed snakes, make 100 clutches a year and do it that way. For me, I'm working with sort of very select few genes compared to the amount of genes that are out there, and just working them combos together to see what I can produce. So yeah, my snake collection's never going to be big. I think I've probably, looking at everything, I've probably got about 60-70 snakes in my collection. And I'd probably say about a quarter of those are going to be sold eventually. Some are up for sale now on Morph Market, and some are going to be going up eventually as well when I get a chance to put them up. But yeah, so the majority of my videos have been snake and reptile related, and that's not really what I intended for it to do. You can see I've put there are a few random videos I've put in there. So I've got a few little bits of 3D printing, because I'm really into 3D printing at the minute. I love making stuff. I've got a few bits of my fish pond on there because I'm into my koi. Really like fish ponds and keeping fish and things like that. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of videos coming out on this channel that are going to be changing, if you like. And I don't know if it's going to be for the good, for the better of the channel, I don't really know. But it's going to be more for me. I want to make stuff that I enjoy making, basically. And the thing is, I actually follow a lot of people on YouTube that I don't watch all of their videos. I follow them just because of specific things that they do. I think I've probably got about 250 channels I'm subscribed to on my main channel. And that's just because of the stuff that some people make. Some people, I can't stand the people, if I'm honest. I don't like the people on their channel at all, but it's the things that they're doing that nobody else is doing that I enjoy watching, if that makes sense. So yeah, a lot of their videos I won't watch unless something in particular pops up that I'm interested in, then I will just watch that. But I'm still subscribed to their channel because I don't want to miss those videos, you know. So that's what I'm kind of hoping is going to happen with this channel. I'm hoping that people that are subscribed are still going to be subscribed, and hopefully it's going to draw in new people. And it's like I say, you don't have to watch all my videos. You can just watch the videos that are sort of specific to you and what you're going to be interested in. But it's one of those things that something might pop up one day and you think, oh, what's that? Give it a little click, have a little watch, and then you've decided, oh, that might be something that I want to get into. So yeah, I've been out and about, I've been doing a few little bits, getting back into sort of my routine now. I mean, now that everything's sort of been cranked up again in the country, it's going to be a little bit hard to go out and do that, but I'm sort of finding ways around that and things like that. So what I'm going to do is I've got some clips of bits that are from probably about 10 years ago, from when I started hobby. I'm a semi-pro paintballer, I really like my paintballing, and I probably started this about 10 years ago. Got in touch with a club one day, said that I was interested in joining the team, and it sort of blossomed from there really. I'm now vice captain of a pro team. I think we're probably one of the longest running teams going in the UK, which is quite interesting. Seen a lot of people, met a lot of people, had a lot of experiences through it, and yeah, so the paintballing side of it for me has been, it's sort of been a way to sort of get away and enjoy stuff with your mates, and yeah, it's just fun shooting people, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, just enjoying the sport in general, getting all the kit, things like that. It's just the sort of thing that I enjoy doing, basically. So I've got some footage that I've got from years ago that I'll be playing. But yeah, it's just something I enjoy doing, something that's a little bit different. Not a lot of people are sort of into that sort of thing. Most people go and play sort of paintball on random punter days, things like that, but I play on the more serious side. I have played in the UK. I have won money in competitions as well. Nothing big, nothing major, because we don't really go in at that sort of top high level sort of paintball play. But yeah, we have won money in the past, things like that. Come first in multiple tournaments. Majority of people who are into paintball probably have heard of us. So yeah, really big on my paintball. Something else that I'm really big into that I've been getting out doing recently, the last couple of weeks, I really love my fishing. I started fishing when I was young. My granddad got me into fishing, my uncle was into fishing. I started off match angling for a lot of it, just going to club competitions, done a few other competitions outside the club, and then I started getting into sort of the specimen fishing and started carp fishing. And I've been fishing for carp probably the last 5 years properly, I'd say. That's when I got all the proper kit, started literally fishing just for the carp, things like that. And yeah, I've been doing quite well. My PB mirror, I think, is like just over £39. Next one up from that is like a 31 up to follow that up. And I think my biggest common is probably just over £24 as well. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I'm fishing quite a lot now. I've belonged to this specific club for a long time, since I was a young child, as my granddad and my uncle both fished the club as well. And I've recently started fishing one of the lakes that I used to fish as a child, but I never really fished for the bigger fish in there. And there's not a lot of fish. There's probably about 25 to 30 carp in there of all sorts of sizes and strains and things like that. And I'm going to be sort of targeting this lake probably, I want to say for a year, but by the time I sort of got to sort of 6 months in, I don't think there's going to be much left in there for me to catch, and it's just going to be a lot of recapture. So the whole idea of it is just to see what's actually in that lake, basically, because it's a special little lake. It's probably about 100 years old, so it's going to have quite a few interesting fish in there. But yeah, that's something that I'm really interested in. Also, you know, I'm big into the snakes. I love all the snakes and stuff. Love my DIY, and going back to the fishing as well, I do like fishing for predators as well, and I watch quite a few channels that actually make fishing lures and things like that. Quite into that. I think I've released one video on here where I made an actual mould for fishing lures, and I was trying to get some stuff to make them, and the stuff I want over in the States is so hard to get over here, cost wise, and just because everything that's going on in the world, it just makes it really difficult. So I am going to be working on some new stuff for fishing lures, so if you're interested in that sort of DIY fishing sort of stuff, then yeah, that's going to be one for you. Obviously I'm going to be doing a snake room up. That's going to be a run in progress. I'm not really going to record that because it's not like I'm building it from scratch. The room is already here. All I've literally got to do is give it a lick of paint, move a few bits around, and the room's done. I have got the racking behind me here, which is that I've moved in, so I'll quickly show you that just so you can see what I've done on that. But if you've watched my previous videos, you see I would have had it in like a big towel, which was sort of over in, well, the room's the other way around now, but it was sort of over on that side. But yeah, that's all moved now. Got all that set up. I am working on a little mini workshop, so down the end of my garden I've got a shed that just gets used for storage basically, and that is going to be my workshop. That's where I'm going to put all my tools, so a lot of my DIY stuff is going to be down there, making things like that. I do have some rack builds coming. I know there's some people in the UK that are making metal racking now. I'm going to have a go at making my own. It's not going to be for sale. I'm not going to be doing it for that purpose, just because I don't think I can put out a product that's going to be that high quality and that standard. So it's going to be literally just for me. So I've had a little play around with some of the metal racking on this. It seems to be okay. I'm not sure how it's going to stand on like sort of a tall sort of 15 tubbed rack, but it's going to be something interesting to try. So yeah, that's going to be a big venture. It's going to be a lot of money, I think, to try and do it, but if it pays off, then it's going to be absolutely spot on, because everyone wants those aluminium racks, and trying to get one that is actually sort of half decent is quite tricky. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. I do have my rodent breeding. I'm in two minds about my rodent breeding. I do breed Maltese. It was solely Maltese that I was breeding, because I wanted to get my entire female part of my snakes onto Maltese only, just because I just like the idea of Maltese over rats, to be honest. But because of the slow rate of growth, for me, I've got 2 racks of 7 here, and for the babies to grow up, they just take so long. For them to get to the size that I need them to be, it's just not going to pay off in the long run. So I will be cutting the Maltese down to just a small little colony, a couple of colonies, and that's just going to be for my pickies, because I've got 2 snakes that, well, actually 4 at the minute. I've got 4 snakes that will only eat multis, which is really annoying, just because it is just slowing their growth down. Trying to buy multis from my supplier is just a nightmare, so that's why I wanted to breed them. But yeah, they're taking their sweet time. Not that I mind that. I mean, as long as they're healthy and they're cared for and they have a decent life, you know, I'm not too worried about that. But I will be switching over to rats. I have got a couple of rats going now with some little babies with them. They're gorgeous little animals, nice greys and blues, and I'm going to be sort of outsourcing a few different bloodlines, get a few bloodlines in to sort of try and make some really nice fancy looking rats, you know, because I'm into the snake morphs, I might as well get into the rodent morphs as well. So yeah, that's something that's up and coming. So I've got all that racking here, that's all made out of wood, but eventually if the aluminium racking goes well for the snakes, then I will be doing my own personal aluminium racking for the multis, taking you through how I make it. Obviously I'll show you where I get all the supplies and stuff from, so if you ever want to try and have a go at making it yourself, then this is something that you could look into. As I said, I'm big on my fish keeping, I love my koi. I have done a couple of videos on my fish pond outside. You know, I've got like a big koi pond. If you've watched it, a nice little black slate waterfall, sort of showing how I've put all that together. I'm going to be getting more into the fish keeping side of it on the outside. I'm going to be, shush, stop making so much noise. I'm going to be making a huge above ground fish pond in the garden, and I've always wanted a fish pond that's got one of the windows, like the big glass panel on the side so you can see. It's not really going to be for the koi. It'd be really cool for the koi because you can see them through the window, but to be honest with the koi, once they get personable, they come right up, you can basically see them perfectly anyway. This new pond is going to be literally for like mirror carp, common carp, leather carp, things like that, sort of fish that I go out and catch in my lakes. A lot of people may look at them and think they're not anything special, but it's something that you have to be an angler basically to understand it, just how pretty these fish can be. I've bought a load that are in my fish pond already, they're already in there, and I've set up a fish tank in the corner here, and in there I've actually got some more small ones as well, and what I've done is before I put them in there I actually took pictures of each individual one, both sides, so you can see the scale patterns, because they do change as they get older. And the whole idea of that is I'm going to see if I can basically power grow them inside. So that tank at the minute is the same room as my temperature. It's currently sat at 69.8 degrees Fahrenheit, and basically the fish tank is going to get up to about that same temperature. So it's a little project I'm working on. I'm hoping that it's going to work. Basically the whole idea of it is that I can just power feed these fish and get them up to size fairly quick and then get them out into the fish pond basically. So that's something I'm going to be doing. It's a very new tank, I've only just set it up. The water at the minute is quite yellow, and that's because I've put that piece of driftwood in there, and that's just all the tannins coming out of that driftwood that's just making it look a bit yellow. But the more water changes I do, I'll basically take that out. But I'm getting a new canister filter for that, which I'm quite worried about because from all the research I've done, canister filters are absolutely naff. Apparently they're absolutely crap, they always leak. So I'm hoping I can sort of have a little play around with it, sort of modify it slightly so I can sort of get around that leaking side of it. But I will be doing videos on that as well. But yeah, there's a lot to come. I think I've briefly mentioned that I'm into my cars, into my motorbikes. At the minute I'm only a learner, so I've only got a little Yamaha YZF-125, but the car side of it, I drive a GT86, which is it's quite a substantial car for what it is. It's very tail heavy, likes to kick out a lot, and I want to be doing quite a few car modifications to that as well. So yeah, the channel sort of, it is what it is. It's sort of never meant to be, like I said, never meant to be a reptile channel. It was always meant to be a sort of an all-rounded channel, basically everything I get up to. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Trying to film stuff and get it out is going to be sort of a bit mix and match. It's going to be sort of random videos flying up here, there and everywhere. I'm probably going to try and set them up in playlists just so it's a little bit easier for people to view. So if you wanted to binge watch something from start to finish, if something took your fancy, then yeah, it just makes it a little bit easier right now to scroll through and find all the videos. Please continue watching. Please sub to the channel. Don't unsub because I'm still going to be doing loads of snake stuff. Don't worry about that. All the snake videos are still going to be coming out. I have got a new gene coming that I've not worked with before. I've got 2 new snakes coming actually. One of them is just going to push my clown project like 4 years ahead of what I am now, which is absolutely brilliant. And the other one I'm doing is it's a new gene. I think it's quite big in the States. I don't think it's very big over here at the minute. I don't think there's a lot of people working. I've been on Morph Market and stuff, and I've not seen anything about. But yeah, I'll give you a little hint. It's very similar to the hurricane gene. So if you sort of know a little bit about the hurricane gene, then yeah, it's very similar to that, and I'm quite interested to see what that's going to do with my clown game, because I've got a few females that are growing up, sort of getting to that size now. So if I can get this gene into some clown, make some hets, and then put that into some of the other powerhouse stuff that I've got going on at the minute, then yeah, that could be quite interesting. So it's definitely worth sticking around and watching. Make sure you do follow me on Instagram, because I post everything on Instagram first, and then obviously it gets a bit delayed, comes out on YouTube like a day or two later. So yeah, it's always worth sort of clicking that follow button, follow me on Instagram, seeing what I'm up to. I'm going to try and do a lot more sort of, rather than the pictures, I'm going to try and do a lot more videos, just because I get bored of flicking through pictures. I'm not going to lie, some of the pictures on there are absolutely incredible, but I do get bored of it a few of the time. So I'm going to be doing sort of more video style stuff, obviously for high definition pictures and stuff like that. It's going to be a picture, but yeah, I want to try and get a few more videos on there, just so I find it a little bit more interesting. Maybe a few Instagram TV sort of feeds on there as well. So yeah, there's loads coming to the channel. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope I've not bored you too much. I know I've done a lot of talking, but hopefully I can chuck a load of other videos on top of this so you can see what I'm sort of talking about. And hopefully, if you're still here, I'll see you in the next video.